Hey guys, and welcome back to Miss Blackberry Speaks. This episode is titled The Art of Letting Go. Y'all, that title is a sermon all by itself. I had to learn the hard way the art of letting go. I'm back to tell you guys why my oldest doesn't live here anymore. Her email got confused with mine, or something happened with her email at school, and I started getting all of her emails forwarded to mine. So as I'm looking at the emails, I started seeing all kinds of stuff where she was being persuaded by her friends to do certain things. One of them even asked, well, what would happen to your mom if you turned off her oxygen? My kid replies, she'll probably die. So I'm looking at this like she cannot be serious. But then again, we're talking about somebody who's on drugs, okay? So when I saw the email, I immediately called my husband. I told him about it. He was like, man, she's not dumb. She's not going to do anything. So after talking to him, I'm still kind of upset. So I called my parents. My parents were like, just see what she's going to do. Keep an eye out on it. If you have to, bring your concentrator into your room. And you guys, if you know anybody that's been on an oxygen concentrator, it kicks out a lot of heat, okay? So it has to be in an open space where it can catch air, and so that, your room won't be overheated with you in it. If you're on oxygen, heat is something that you really can't tolerate, okay? Now, fast forward to the emails again, where she said what would happen, if she was to unplug it. She would probably die. Well, needless to say, about a day or so later, I had issues breathing, and I could not, figure out why. Like, why am I having such a hard time breathing? And my husband decided to check my cord as well as myself. And while we were walking alongside the tubes, you guys, we found little cuts from the area where it was out in my living area all the way up until it got under my door. The part that was under my door was not cut because that was where I was, but everything else that I could not see beyond my door had a cut in it. So I could not breathe. She took the advice of one of her little friends and cut up my tubes while I was on oxygen. So at this point, y'all, I am so pissed. Like, this girl is trying to kill me, and I can't do anything about it to defend myself because I can hardly get around. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I struggled to get upstairs. It took me about 30 minutes or more to climb up 6 stairs. I can laugh now because I can get up there a little bit faster now than I used to, okay? Because keep in mind, I had to learn how to walk again, so stairs was not my friend. I took all my stuff to my parents' house and I left. Because at that point, I was in danger, okay? I was literally in danger. And when you're like that, you guys, you're considered a vulnerable adult. I was a vulnerable adult in a home with someone who was on drugs and trying to end my life by cutting my oxygen tubes. So I went to my parents' house and I stayed there for about 2 weeks. And then I went back home. By this time, this girl has already had a plan in motion. Keep in mind, I still get her emails, okay? So she's planning to run away from home and all that stuff like that, to go and live with her friends and just live the good life or whatever. So in my mind, I'm like, well, if she runs away from home, that'll be on her. Because I know I did everything possible as a parent to make sure she had everything that she needed. The only thing I could not do was provide for them while I was in the hospital. And that's because I literally couldn't, okay? So, fast forward about a month later, She said she was going to go outside, but I noticed that she had a book bag and a skateboard. So I was like, are you going somewhere? She was like, no, I'm just going outside. I know better than that. Okay? Everything is right around in the area where we live. So I know you're not going anywhere far if you're going outside without a book bag. But if you got a book bag and a skateboard, you're planning to go somewhere. Okay? I'm not crazy. So I then, text my husband. I said, I think she's trying to leave because she has a book bag and a skateboard. And I asked her if she was going somewhere. And after I confronted her and I asked her if she's going somewhere, she said no. I said, well, you got your book bag and your skateboard, so you must be going somewhere. She said, no, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going out there to the picnic table. She said, well, while you're cooking, I could take the 2 kids outside to play. So me being who I am, I said, yeah, sure. Go ahead and take them outside. And about 5 minutes, you guys, of them being outside, my little girl comes back in crying because she fell off her scooter. So while I'm trying to console her and get her cleaned up and get my little boy back in the house, this joker leaves the house. Okay? And it's all because she asked to go to the library. And you guys at the time going to the library, y'all, gas was like $4.50. And I'm like, yo, I do not want to make any unnecessary trips if I don't have to. So we have internet here. We have 5 computers. We have 3 laptops, 2 desktop. Pick one, you can get on it. Okay? This girl decides to leave the house anyway. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe she's headed down to the library. Like she said, I go to the library, know her. So I'm like, well, I don't know where she went. And then I thought about the emails that I saw with her going to stay with her friends and all kind of stuff like that. So I don't know where she is. A couple hours passed by. I'm waiting for her to come back. So I decided to call the cops. I called the cops. They explained that she left home without permission. All kind of stuff like that. You guys, the cops are so full of shit. I mean, excuse me, but that's exactly what they are. They are so full of it sometimes. It's like you can be doing your job as a parent, reporting things and, trying to make sure things go the right way and you taking the right avenues to get help. And they'll look at you like you got the problem. I even showed them video evidence of everything that happened in my house with me telling her that she could use the computers and stuff like that. You don't have to go anywhere. I even showed them before with her going to do her homework on our computers, everything. But they still made the issue seem like it was the parents' fault. Instead of thinking about what the child was doing and saying, you guys, I provided proof with emails, everything, okay? So I'm going to cover myself because you're not going to put me in a hole that I can't get out of, all right? So, needless to say, homegirl is missing for a whole week. I don't know where she is. My husband and I tried to think of places that she might be. We could not find this girl. All of a sudden, the emails started back up. She wanted to stay with one of her little friends. But in the email, she kept telling them, don't say your location. Don't tell your location because somebody might figure it out. My mom's smart. She might go through my emails and figure out where I am if you guys give your location. So this girl had already thought everything through on what she was going to do and how she was going to do it. Listen, there is more to this story. I'm going to have to come back in another episode to tell you what we went through for an entire year that had me going through ups and downs with my emotions, even having 2 mental breakdowns in between. You guys, you don't want to miss the next episode, so stay tuned to Miss Blackberry Speaks.